Now we're on to the third part, exporting your car from Japan. While there's a lot going on here, there's not too much that you specifically need to be doing. Once you've won the bid and wired the money, the rest is on your exporter/agent that you're using in Japan. The first thing your agent is going to be working on is deregistering the car. So when you export a car from Japan, it essentially has to be killed in Japan, as in they have to have their federal documents that say this car is no longer here. We don't have this in our country. So they will deregister the car and do a form for that. Once the car has been deregistered, another form that you're going to be on the lookout for is an export certificate, or ECS. There is a certificate that says, yes, this car has been deregistered and it is legally ready to go on a boat. That form has no inputs from you. There's nothing for you to do. Your agent will take care of it. Your agent or exporter will orchestrate moving the vehicle from the auction house to a waiting yard and then to the nearest port that makes sense for shipping to the port that you need the car at. So they make considerations when they're going to ship to the port that you want, whether it's on the East Coast or West Coast or kind of, Central Florida, Alabama, that area. They need to plan accordingly to what ships going outbound to that direction will be coming inbound to the port in Japan. So once the car is in this kind of temporary staging area before it gets moved out to port, there may be a few things that they want to have you do. They may want to have the car washed or tested, looked over. There's always fees associated with each one of those things. It isn't always the case. It isn't the case at every auction house every time you get it moved out, but I have seen those charges come in. There are some of those charges in our calculator and our application that we've built, but it's something to keep in mind that there may be a few miscellaneous things that need to happen with the car before it can be moved to the waiting port area to be shipped out. So in our app, we have a timeline for this step. You want to plan for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Sometimes I see it take up to 2 to 3 months to get this all done before it's actually on a boat. We've got the Japanese export ports listed. Your exporter picks the port that's going to make the most sense for you that we've talked about briefly, and we've got a list here of the common ones. We've got Nagoya, Osaka, and Kobe, Yokohama, which is where the Supra shipped from. There's a handful of ports here that are commonly used depending on where you're going. But the initial 2 to 4 weeks, you'll have day 0 is the auction win where you've won the vehicle. Days 1 to 7, the vehicle is transported to the exporter lot where they may do some of those smaller things like wash the vehicle. Days 5 to 10, you get your ECS issued and you're looking to move that vehicle to port. Days 10 to 21, the vehicle is delivered to the port, and usually that's where those pre-shipment photos are taken. They can be taken any kind of time between that 5 to 21 day period in there. There's one piece of paperwork that spans both this step, your exporting step, and the next step, which is your shipping step, which is your bill of lading and your invoice certificate. This is something you need to stay really on top of. What it talks about, a bill of lading is your plan to ship something or lade something on a boat. It needs to be very clear that you have this. And when you have your bill of lading and your commercial invoice, you're gonna wanna file those with your importer, which again, that goes back to step 1, picking an importer that you really would like to use. File that with them immediately. You don't wanna wait. There is actually a fine in the United States. If you don't get it there quickly, they can fine you, I believe, up to $10,000. So it's something you're gonna wanna stay on top of. And the bill of lading itself is typically a draft bill of lading that you'll get immediately. It'll look just like the bill of lading. It will work just fine for you. It's just something to keep in mind. It'll be a draft bill of lading alongside that commercial invoice. And that draft bill of lading and that commercial invoice are what turns into your ISF. Your ISF is a form that your importing broker will file for the car to come into the United States. And I know that's a lot of wordy paperwork. I know that's a lot to hear about and listen to, but use our guide, take good notes, look at the example. We have examples of all of these forms up on the website. Take a look at them, keep an eye on them, and use them to get your car in safely without getting fined. Things start to get really exciting when the ship comes into port and gets ready to pick up your vehicle. Let's talk about shipping next.